This past Friday night on SmackDown, WWE went back to the same old well once again. Because this past Friday night on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio replaced his LWO member Santos Escobar to face off and defeat United States Champion Austin Theory and win the title once again. Now, for all intents and purposes, this was the absolute best move for the US Championship. The US title had to be taken off with Theory at this point. The title had become a demotion. It had lost interest in the eyes of the WWE fans since WrestleMania. Since Theory defeated Cena at WrestleMania earlier this year, the title hadn't been defended on pay-per-view. It had barely been featured on SmackDown on a weekly basis, so that championship needed to reboot. And to be honest, I firmly believe that Santos was going to win the championship. And Santos, in my opinion, should have won the title this past Friday night on SmackDown. But that wasn't the case. Because they played out the storyline, Theory took out Escobar, Rey Mysterio took his place, and Rey Mysterio got the job done. That is the story that they have been telling, or that they told last week. But here's the thing. My biggest fear right now for the United States Championship, and one of the biggest reasons why I did not want Rey Mysterio to win it, is because I'm fearing that WWE is going to go back to an even deeper well too soon, which is have current brand new United States Champion Rey Mysterio face off against his son, the North American Champion Dominic Mysterio. That feud, that rivalry, should not be revisited anytime soon. It shouldn't. It's a fantastic rivalry. It reached its boiling point. It reached its apex at WrestleMania. It doesn't get any better than that, and I believe that story, the next chapter in that story, should be when Dominic Mysterio turns into a babyface again and reunites, reconciles with his father in a year, 2 years from now. So that's my biggest fear, that we're going to turn the US title back into Mysterio versus Mysterio instead of putting the championship on Santos Escobar, giving him a bump, giving the LWO as a whole as a bump in their stock, because the Latino World Order, since they formed on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, they've been a complete joke of a faction. They haven't done anything. They haven't won any meaningful matches. I thought Santos Escobar could have been the very first one and put the faction back on track. That wasn't the case, clearly, because WWE tends to lean on stars like Rey Mysterio too much. And Rey Mysterio has been on top in terms of the Latino market, Hispanic market for WWE for over 20 years at this point. They haven't been able to find somebody to replace him. And to me, Santos winning it and being the champion as the leader of the LWO, because Rey Mysterio, I think he's just part of the LWO when it benefits him. When he's not a part of the LWO, he's not there. So, yeah. With that said, I'm hoping at this point, you already made Rey Mysterio the United States Champion. He beat Austin Theory. That needed to happen. Theory needs to, yes, be featured. He's a future star. There's no doubt about that. This, in my opinion, gets the Theory character back on track over on Friday nights, and they can feud for the next month, 2 months, but Theory cannot regain this championship anytime soon. I firmly believe Santos Escobar needs to turn heel on Rey Mysterio. We have a heel Latino World Order faction against Rey Mysterio. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the story WWE has to tell, instead of going towards Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio once again, which again they've teased, because at NXT, Dominic Mysterio defended against Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio was in the corner for the Mexican luchador over on Tuesday nights. So I'm hoping they don't go back to that. I'm hoping Santos turns heel on Rey Mysterio. I'm hoping it's a slow burn. I'm hoping, because they did that whole #1 contender match where Rey Mysterio was unable to compete. So their match, their one-on-one bout, was never clearly determined on who the winner was. And I firmly believe Santos Escobar is going to hold some resentment towards Rey Mysterio. you could bring that up to the surface as the weeks pass on, and who knows, this rivalry between Santos and the LWO against Rey Mysterio, it could reach a boiling point at Survivor Series taking place in Chicago during November, if I'm correct. So I'm hoping that's the route WWE takes with having Rey Mysterio become United States Champion. I talked about it with AEW in the past 2 days. Older stars, veteran stars, yes, they paved the way. And hey, Rey Mysterio is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best to ever do it. He's one of the best to ever do it right now. I'm not taking that away from him. But you've got to start to establish these young talents as soon as possible. Give them the accolades, give them the accomplishments, put them on the forefront so that they can lead for generations to come. Because we had Alberto Del Rio, where is he now? Nowhere. We had Sin Cara, we had Kalisto, we had a bunch of Hispanic superstars that they brought into WWE hoping to replace Rey Mysterio at the top of the Hispanic market, and they haven't been able to, mostly because they are unwilling to commit to a star and push him like they've been able to push Rey Mysterio. But those are my thoughts. Again, I know a lot of fans are, forever fans of Rey Mysterio. I'm one of them too. Hell, the first WrestleMania I watched, WrestleMania 22, Rey Mysterio won the World Championship in that triple threat match against Kurt Angle and Randy Orton. I remember it like if it was yesterday. I've been a Rey Mysterio fan for decades, and I'll continue to be so. But again, sports entertainment, it's all about bringing up the new generation, bringing them up as soon as possible, establishing them, and giving them their time to shine. And I believe Rey Mysterio's time on top of WWE should have already ended. But again, those are my thoughts. I know you all have different opinions. I know everyone loves Rey Mysterio. No matter how old he gets, he doesn't get worse in the ring. So with that said, what are your thoughts? Where do you think WWE is going with Rey Mysterio as United States Champion? Is he going to face Dominic Mysterio again? Is he going to face off against the heel LWO faction? We'll just have to wait and see. So with that said, tune in later on tonight to Fox for another episode of SmackDown. Tune in later on tonight to TNT for another episode of Rampage. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestling all around. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.